Okay, so for those of you who have, watched my channel for a long time, and have known me on here for a long time, you probably know that I absolutely hate the Stinkland Deflatriots, right? I'm always talking shit about them. I'm always trolling them nonstop, you know? And I've made many videos bashing them time and time again. And I figured I'm gonna do a video. I figured, you know what? I think I should do a video bringing up all the reasons why I hate them so goddamn much. So yeah, in this video, there's gonna be 25 reasons why I hate this team, right? So let's get started. So reason number one, they've had our number for the past 25 to 30 years. And now, I know many people will argue that the ownage started with the 2001 AFC Championship. Some would even argue that the ownage goes all the way back to the 1996 divisional round. But if you ask me, I would say that the ownage started back in December of 1998. And the reason I say that is because at least if you go back to all the way back to the 96 divisional round where we lost to them 28-3, at least if you go back that far, the year after that we beat them in the regular season and playoffs this season after. And that was where we beat them in the divisional round 7-6. And then season after that, we play them at home early December in Pittsburgh, and they roll us over 23-9. And since then, they have beaten us 15 out of I think, including that game, they've beaten us 15 out of the last 19 ever since, including 3 AFC Championship games to none, which will be brought up later on in the video. But yeah, so that's probably the most obvious reason that I wanted to get out of the way. And then reason number 2, another obvious reason. Their fan base during the Brady era was beyond insufferable and complete scum, and at times still is now. So for example, do you remember when the Ravens beat them in the AFC Championship 28-13? Because I remember hearing about Patriot fans going after Torrey Smith's dead brother, just harassing him about it nonstop. I thought it was completely fucked up. It was complete scum, And not to mention, for many years, especially I would especially say since after the Super Bowl 51, which was also 2 weeks after they beat us in the 2016 AFC Championship. I'll say from that span up until I would say when the Titans beat him in the 2019 divisional round, in that very span, I've had to endure a countless amount of shit talk from Patriot fans. I mean, it's even when other fans were just trying to mind their own business, Patriot fans they've always had to make it about them instead of just enjoying their championships. They always gotta find a certain a certain little grouping, a certain page of a different football team to talk shit on. But yeah, completely scum fan base. I've hated 90 to 99% of their fan base for a very long time. And then reason number 3, the cheating they got caught for and have admitted to. So, and of course, what am I referring to here? Well, if remember when we lost the 2001 AFC Championship game to them, because during that game and throughout pretty much throughout most of the 2000s was during the Spygate era, which Spygate will be brought up later on, right? The Patriot coaches, they have admitted to stealing other teams' play sheets from their locker rooms throughout most of the 2000s, from 2001 to 2007. And if you don't believe me, look it up. There's literally an article on it. Believe me, their coaching staff has admitted to stealing other teams' play sheets. They have. But yeah, and then reason number 4. What perhaps the most infamous reason of them all, and yes, you probably know what it is. Jesse James caught that ball, right? Because not only is it most of my fan base that believes that, even non-Steeler fans, including people that hate the Steelers, have admitted that Jesse James caught that ball. And that includes Ravens fans, and fuck it, I've even seen some Patriot fans come out and admit that Jesse James caught it. Yes, I have seen Pew Stinkland Deflatriots fans, some of them anyway, have came out and admitted that Jesse James caught it. And hey, I applaud them for it. I do. But yeah, I have held a very, very strong grudge over it ever since it happened. And the more I think about it, the worse the grudge gets. But anyways, reason number 5. Their former players are narcissists. So, example number 1. So, remember when Asante Samuel and Ty Law, those two fucking faggots, called out Ben and Jerome Bettis back in September 2023, so pretty much 2 years ago? They called them out over them bringing up the 2004 Spygate AFC Championship, right? They brought up how New England cheated, which, let's be real, we all know they did, but Roger Goodell had to burn the evidence, so therefore nobody could see it, and so therefore his league wouldn't have a bad look on him, right? But yeah, these two pieces of shit, they had to act like players and fans bringing up these Spygate allegations. They act like these things are anything new when they have been a thing for many, many years. They have. But yeah, and those of you who saw the video on my backup channel, I absolutely burned those two fucks. So that's one example. And then, of course, the second one. So remember when Willie McGinnis got arrested for that bar altercation with that one guy? This dude had the nerve to say the truth will prevail after being arrested for it, when everyone saw the clip where he and his guys walked up to the man and provoked him for no reason. All right. Other than that, there was nothing else that came out of it. I would bring up more, but I gotta get to the other reasons in this video. And well, one of the examples leading me into reason number 6, the 2004 Spygate AFC Championship. So, of course, I already brought up how the league destroyed the evidence and how New England knew our plays, right? And it also makes you wonder, how is it that we go from kicking their ass on Halloween, beating them up 34-20, they got a garbage time touchdown. We go from that to all of a sudden the AFC Championship, that game went the complete opposite of how the Week 8 Halloween game went. Right? But yeah, And I understand. We did barely squeak by the Jets the week before that. But still, like, but this game isn't even the only case where Spygate happened. Because like I said earlier, it happened throughout most of the 2000s, and it even happened in Super Bowl 39 as well. But yeah, if only Goodell didn't destroy the evidence, because there is a lot, because we know damn well there's much more to it than people realize. There is. And the players and coaches have admitted to this kind of cheating. So there's that. And I know you're all going to sit there and say, oh, you're just butthurt, you're just salty. Yeah, I admit it, I am butthurt. Okay, I admit it. I'm fucking butthurt that we lost 3 AFC Championship games to 0 against them. I am butthurt that we're 4-15 against them since 1998. Okay, I admit it. I am ass hurt. I'm salty. I am. I admit it. But regardless, on to reason number 7. Well, the 2001 AFC Championship. The game where they stole our play sheets, they stole our handwritten diagrams, and our defensive signals, right? And I love how their players try to sit here and frame us for our arrogance, saying that we already, they already had their luggage sitting in the hallway, right before the Patriot players, ran out onto the field. They saw the luggage there, and they even asked. They even asked one of the security guards or somebody, why are these bags here? And he said it's because the Steelers had already prepared their shit to head to New Orleans for Super Bowl 36. Right? And I love how they call us arrogant for that. Yet, now I'm not entirely sure about this, but I think the Stinkland Deflatriots had prematurely bought their tickets to Super Bowl 36 as well. And but whether if that's true or not, I may have saw it somewhere, I forget. But let's also not forget this. The NFL gave them Super Bowl 36 because of 9/11. Okay, they did. They did. I mean, the clues are so obvious. They beat the Raiders in the divisional round. And what are Raiders? Well, pirates. What are pirates in today's world? That's right, terrorists. Who did 9/11? Well, Islamic terrorists. And what were those buildings made out of? Steel. Like the Steelers. Like how they beat us in the AFC Championship the week after they beat the Raiders over the tuck rule. But the NFL deep state had to let the tuck rule slide, the tuck rule strip sack slide, just so the Stinkland Deflatriots could win. And I will admit this though, our special teams was garbage, and so was Cordell Stewart. The guy threw 3 interceptions, and I've looked back at the highlights. Even though I was too young to remember that game, I was only like 8 months old when it happened. I looked back on it, and Cordell Stewart should have thrown like 6 or 7 interceptions. But still, it doesn't change the fact that the NFL, the deep state, and the CIA gave the Stinkland Deflatriots Super Bowl 36 because of 9/11, and everybody knows it. And reason number 8. Well, if you paid attention to the last couple of reasons, I think you know what this one's gonna be. The 2016 AFC Championship. And now, even though Michael Pettaway Dumlin had a terrible game plan against Brady by playing zone coverage on defense all game, let's not forget this. a Patriot fan set off our alarm, our hotel alarm, at 3 in the morning to, throw us off. And for as crazy as it is coming from me, I do have to admit that the Stinkland Deflatriots did not cheat in the 2016 AFC Championship, unlike 2001 and 2004. But even then, it's like, for each of these AFC Championship games we've lost to them, it's always, it's like there's something shady. There's a shady story behind each of them. From 2001, the stolen play sheets, the stolen diagrams, and defensive signals, that they snuck a coach into our locker room to steal. Then 2004, Spygate, and of course in 2016, the 3 a.m. hotel alarm going off because a faggot Patriot fan can't control himself. But yeah, anyways, reason number 9. Letting them get Mike Vrabel was a huge mistake. Because while I remember Patriot fans over-exaggerating them getting James Harrison from us, even though we tried to tell them that James Harrison was washed. Granted, I was frustrated that he went there, but the fact is he was not the same player. And we got rid of him because, he wasn't happy about being benched for our younger guys, Watt and Dupree, taking the starting job from him. And because he only played 5 games for them, he barely did anything in them, and he did absolutely nothing in Super Bowl 52, which after that game he officially retired for good. But with that said, James Harrison's legacy will always lie with us. Like, literally nobody will remember what he did with the Stinkland Deflatriots. Literally nobody. He is a Steeler through and through. But I do have to admit, letting them get Mike Vrabel was a mistake. And why? Because, well, for one, when we let him go to New England, Vrabel was still in his prime. And number 2, he became like a player slash coach for them, which worked out pretty well, and was like one of the cornerstones of their, 9/11 CIA deep state started / affiliated dynasty. And then, of course, there was the play in the 2004 AFC Championship where James Harrison ran the pick 6 back for a touchdown. And on that very play, that was where Mike Vrabel blocked Ben and knocked him down. But yeah, so anyways, reason number 10. They used to get so much help from the refs with Brady, and at times still do now. I'll give a couple of examples. Because I can give countless, but let's give a few random ones that happened during the Brady era, and I'll give a few that have happened after the Brady era. So, remember the 2009 regular season game? There was just one time where New England was playing Baltimore. And I remember during that game, the refs called a complete bullshit roughing the passer on the Ravens just for Brady just lightly falling over. I mean, the guy was barely even hit. Now, if you watched that game, you might remember it. I mean, I can't exactly describe it, but I do remember something like that happening. And when I looked back at the highlights and saw it, I was like, that's complete bullshit. Shouldn't have been roughing the passer. In the 2018 AFC Championship game against Kansas City, when all Chris Jones did was tap Brady on the shoulder pad, Brady didn't even fall, and yet the refs call that roughing the passer. Like, get the fuck out of here. And let's in 2013, when Brady threw that game-winning touchdown against the New Orleans Saints, in the final seconds, I remember when the refs missed a clear as day holding on New England's offensive line. And if that lineman didn't hold that since D lineman the way he did, there's a chance that Brady would have been pressured into either throwing the ball away or being sacked into losing the game. Right? And then, of course, let's give some that have happened after the Brady era. So 2022, when we played New England, there was a play where Matt Judon was all over Najee Harris, who now plays for the Chargers. Right? But, you know, Najee Harris now plays for the Chargers. But when that play happened, and I was there, right? Matt Judon was all over Najee Harris's face, and Trubisky tried to throw the ball to Najee, right? But Najee couldn't catch it because Matt Judon was just interfering the fuck out of him, and yet the refs missed a very clear defensive pass interference. And another example, the year after that, when we played New England on that Thursday night football game, which I'll never forgive Tomlin for, right? Where our long snapper all he did was lift his head up, and it's legal to do that if you're gonna check the play. Okay, it is. The refs called that false start when before that a Patriot defender clearly jumped off sides, yet the refs missed that. And even some of the Patriot players called out how bullshit it was. And believe me, I was furious when it happened. I was. But again, I will say this though. We had no business even losing to a 2-10 team in the first place. Especially for the second week in a fucking row. Second game in a row. But anyways, on to reason number 11. Your owner is a gay little faggot who tried to go to a massage parlor. So Bob Kraft, for an old man like him, tried to go for a massage with young women, and to him, they're young little girls, right? And Bob Kraft is arrested. He goes to court for it. And yet, because he's Bob Kraft, you know, the court had to tear up the evidence to avoid accountability on a massive figure. What happened to nobody's above the law, I wonder? Right? But, you know, typical Patriots getting away with bullshit. Reason number 12. They hate us for no reason. So yeah, you know, for a team that's beaten us in 3 AFC Championship games to 0, I would think for sure that they would hate on teams like the Giants because they beat them in 2 Super Bowls. I would think that they would hate on teams like the Broncos, who have been a serious, you know, playoff thorn to them, because they beaten them in Denver in the playoffs throughout the Brady era 3 times. I would think they'd have, you know, some hate for Baltimore, because you know they beat the fuck out of them in 2 playoff games during the Brady era, right? And Ray Lewis even went 2-1 against New England in the playoffs. I would think that they would hate who else? But yeah. I mean, most Patriot fans I know hate the Dolphins. But yeah, you know, I just never understood why they hated us so much. Because if my team had beaten somebody in 3 AFC Championship games, never lost to them in those games 1 time, I would not hate them at all. I really wouldn't. Because I'd see no point in it. Because understand this, Patriot fans. I have far more justification to hate your team than you do to hate mine. But whatever. Reason number 13. They are everything, or used to be, what they accuse the Chiefs of. So they always talk about how the Chiefs have gotten all this help from the refs, followed by the rest of pretty much every other fan base saying that, which, yes, I do agree with. The refs have helped the Chiefs on ridiculous occasions and on countless occasions. But the thing is, Pats fans are the ones to talk when the refs have had them in their back pockets for 20 years, and at times they will have them in their back pockets still every once in a while. Because like the recency bias in today's football fans, the same ones that claim that New England never got ref help and say that the Chiefs have are the same people who used to literally call New England the Patriots and call them the refs. But me? I keep the same energy towards New England. I keep that same energy. I have no recency bias in me. And that pretty much proves that I have been, over the years, one of the very few true and real and legit Patriot haters out there. I really am. Because I didn't go on that two-faced bullshit and say that New England never got ref help, and now all of a sudden claim that the Chiefs have, and have gotten way more than New England ever has, which, okay, granted, I think based off of rate, that's kind of arguable. But even then, I still stand on the fact that New England used to get all that help from the refs, like many people used to say back in the day, only to turn away from that narrative. Same energy over here with me. Reason number 14. I saw us lose to them in person in 2022, as well as 2023, the year they was at their worst. And now, because just as if it has been bad enough for the fact that they have owned us for a very long time, right? And just as if I haven't held more than enough grudges against them, I had to see us lose to them in person twice. But yeah, like, because while I was a little depressed after the 2022 loss happened, I was depressed. But then when the 2023 one happened, when they were 2-10 going into that game, I was absolutely furious. I went on a 5-day social media meltdown, and yeah, I will never ever forgive Tomlin for that loss. Never. Reason number 15. Gronk used to always embarrass us. So yeah, I mean, there's been so many plays where we would not only not cover him, but even when we did cover him, the guy still found a way to get open. He still found a way to make catches in traffic. The guy used to almost always have a big game against us, and the one time we shut him down was that 2018 game where we beat them 17-10, which was also Gronk's, last game against us. But other than that game, the guy used to kill us. And of course there was that 2-point conversion celebration that he did on Sean Davis where he mocked him. And the year before, back in week 15 of 2017. And yeah. Because when he retired, believe me, I was happy as fuck when I heard that he retired in 2019. And of course, he did come back until he would eventually then retire for good, I believe in 2022. Yeah. And then, of course, reason number 16, Tom Brady used to always embarrass us. You know, from all the times he would find an open receiver, game after game he would thrash us. Play after play, he would just light us the fuck up. I mean, sure, there were a few rare occasions where we shut him down, like the regular season 2004, 2011, 2018, as I just mentioned, with, you know, Gronk. And of course, 2022 when he was with the Bucks. Right? But hey, at least we got a little bit of a last laugh on him. You know, at least we won the last time we ever played him with a practice squad secondary, might I add. Granted, it doesn't change the fact that he absolutely owned us, but, you know. Well, anyways, reason number 17. James Harrison, for a little bit, played for them. But, you know, thank God they lost Super Bowl 52. Because it would have been absolutely sickening to see James Harrison in a Patriot uniform win a Super Bowl. Because James Harrison's one of my favorite, you know, Steelers of all time. He really is. And he's been like one of those players that really like defined what a true Steeler meant. And what it, you know, meant to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. And he is one of the very last real Steelers that we have had. In some ways, he really was the last of his kind. And well, anyways, reason number 18. They've had several ridiculous lucky bounces go their way in the Super Bowls that they won. So let's name them. So from the Tuck Rule versus the Raiders in 2001, the special teams versus us, also 2001. And let me say this. If it wasn't for our special teams in that game, we would have won by like 10 points. And granted, as I've said before, I will admit, Cordell Stewart played horrible. But even with how horrible he played, if it wasn't for our special teams unit, there's a very good chance we would have won that game. But we didn't. And of course, the Panthers kicker going, you know, full-on Joe Biden mode in Super Bowl 38, kicking the ball out of bounds on the fucking kickoff. And of course, Seattle not running the ball with Marshawn Lynch at the 1-yard line in Super Bowl 49. Again, that was them, specifically Pete Carroll, going Joe Biden mode with that dumbass play call. And another one, Edelman's catch in Super Bowl 51. And I know a lot of people compare it, especially Pats fans, they seem to compare it to the David Tyree helmet catch, and how they kind of, like, you know, got one back with the fluke catches and all that. But the thing is, you see, the difference is that with the Super Bowl 42, when David Tyree caught the helmet catch, Eli Manning threw a jump 50-50 ball between Tyree and Rodney Harrison. But David Tyree somehow was able to bring the ball as it came down to him off the throw onto his helmet, and he somehow hung on to it with Rodney Harrison trying to push it out for an incompletion. If that catch isn't made, chances are the Giants would not have won. But Super Bowl 51, however, with Edelman's catch, people forget that ball was tipped before Edelman caught it. The Falcons defender that tipped it, he had two hands on the football. He should have been able to intercept that. But, of course, the dumb fuck tips it. He lets it ricochet in the air for Edelman to catch it. And, of course, last but not least, Dee Ford's offsides in the 2018 AFC Championship. And let's be real. If he was not offsides, on that because Brady threw an interception on that one. If he wasn't offsides, the Chiefs win, plain and simple. Because also, like, if we look at all their Super Bowl appearances throughout, throughout all these years, they shouldn't have gone to Super Bowl 36 because of the tuck rule, and in our special teams, and of course because of 9/11. Another reason they got there, as I brought up earlier. They may not have won Super Bowl 38 if it wasn't for the Panthers kicker, as I said. They shouldn't have even gone to Super Bowl 39 because of Spygate. But, as I said earlier, the NFL tore up the evidence. They shouldn't have gone to Super Bowl 46 because Lee Evans dropped the football and Billy Cundiff missed the field goal when the Ravens had all the momentum on their side and could have very well won in overtime, if not on the spot where Lee Evans dropped the football. They shouldn't, and again, they shouldn't have won Super Bowl 49 because of Pete Carroll having Marshawn Lynch at the 1. They shouldn't have won Super Bowl 51 because of the Edelman catch. They shouldn't have even gone to Super Bowl 53 because of D Ford's offsides. But whatever. Reason number 19. I Got 6 Rings Like Brady is arguably the most cringe song I've ever heard of, if it's not Gimme a Light by Ice Spice. If it ain't that song, it's definitely this song for the most cringe I've ever listened to. Cause like, I got 6 rings like Brady, shut the fuck up. Did you play in any of those games to help Brady win those rings? If not, then fuck out of here. And that's much. I mean, the guy that's singing it, he sounds so gay as if he's gonna meet, Bob Kraft at the massage parlor, right? I mean, like, that song is fucking garbage. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if the people that are watching this probably forgot about the song. But whatever. Which kind of leads me into reason number 20. The "we got 6 rings faster than you" argument is that Patriot fans use is dumb as shit, right? Because when I hear from them, they always say, "Oh, it took you almost 100 years to get 6. We got it in 18 years." First off, okay, number one, the Super Bowl era isn't even anywhere near 100 years old. We're on to Super Bowl 60 as of now. Number 2, your franchise was established in 1960, not 2001. Okay? Not 2001, but 1960. Because you see, here's the thing. We got our sixth ring, 10 years prior before you did. And also, our first 4 Super Bowl appearances we won. The first 2 Super Bowl appearances, you not only lost, but you got your ass beat in both of them. Especially the 85 Super Bowl against the Bears. That was a massacre. Because if you're gonna include our dark ages before our dynasty, and as far as how many years it took us to get 6 rings goes, by that logic, you have to also count your dark pre-dynasty years before you started to win. Okay. I mean, it's like the Patriot logic here, like the logic that you Patriot fans uses is so fucking stupid. It's just stupid. I understand now our franchise is older than yours by damn near 30 years, but still. The fact is, we've not only had a better Super Bowl success rate than you have, but the fact is, we did win our rings faster and prior compared to your franchise did, okay? Not your dynasty, okay? Because if you're going to go by our entire franchise all the way back nearly 100 years ago. We got to go back by we have to go by the existence of your entire franchise rather than just your 18-year dynasty. That's how it works. And that's the fair logic to go by. Reason number 21. The Boston accent is annoying as fuck. And yeah, it's so annoying, like, I'm not even going to try and impersonate it because I'll fucking vibe. So anyways, so let's move on to reason number 22. Their fans blame the refs for losing Super Bowl 52 when the refs are the reason they even got there in the first place. Because, like, because you see, the refs not only helped them in that one game against the Jets, calling back a touchdown, and they helped us. And of course, they called back another touchdown against the Bills, Week 16, even though they blew the Bills out that game. They called back a touchdown there when it should have counted, and of course, the Jesse James touchdown they called back, and not to mention. Not only did one of the refs get caught red-handed celebrating a touchdown with Patriot players, but there was even a play where Myles Garrett wasn't even down. He wasn't even down. You know, I mean that guy. I mean, we all saw that the guy, he clearly stripped the ball out of the player's hand before he fell. And he clearly got up before he was even touched. And if the rest of would actually catch that, Jacksonville would have been in very good position to possibly deliver the final blow to not only New England, but maybe even the final blow to their dynasty. Maybe. Just maybe. Which kind of leads me into reason number 23. The hypocrite logic from their fan base. Example number 1. They had the nerve to cry wolf when Hunter Henry's touchdown versus the Vikings got called back in 2022 on Thanksgiving. Yet they laughed in our faces when the Jesse James touchdown got called back. Second example. They've told us Steeler fans we had to beat them before we talk shit to them. Yet they talk all this shit about Tua, the Dolphins QB, Tua Tagovailoa, who they, as of this recording, haven't even beaten yet, as they are 0-7 against him. Now, of course, we'll see what happens week 2, because I think they play Miami in week 2, but then again, they always lose in Miami anyway. But yeah, they tell us we gotta beat them before we talk, yet they talk so much shit about Tua, more shit about Tua, who they haven't even beaten yet, than I have about Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow combined. Let that sink in. It's not like Burrow and Lamar have full-on owned us, because we have given them trouble at times. We have. And we've beaten them each several times before. More times each than the Patriots have beaten Tua and Josh Allen combined since the turn of the decade. And now, reason number 24. In my opinion, probably the most underrated reason I hate the Patriots so fucking much. It's because non-Patriot fans have sucked this team's dick and have bashed us simultaneously over the years. So yeah, not only have I dealt with a lot of Patriot fans talking shit, but non-Patriot fans have not only defended them, but have even talked shit about us and have tried to suppress us from talking shit about New England. And let me say this. If we beat New England in week 3, if we beat them, right? Not only will I heavily target Patriot fans, I am going to relentlessly flame non-Patriot fans if they either defend New England in any kind of way, shape, or form, if they also do not only that, but also talk shit about us, right? And if I catch any non-Patriot fan trying to suppress me or any other Steeler fan from talking shit to New England, believe me, they will become a heavy target, a deadly, relentless target for me to go after. So non-Patriot fans watching this, if you've ever defended New England and have talked shit about us not being able to beat them in the process and not being able to beat them throughout the years, you're on notice. Okay, you are on notice. And I've seen plenty of you do it. I have. So yeah, I suggest you non-Patriot fans who like to suck New England's dick and bash us in the process, I suggest for your own good to stay the fuck out of it for this week, week 3. Though as I record this over the summer, I suggest you stay way the fuck out of it. And finally, my personal favorite reason why I hate them so much. Reason number 25. Yes. Yeah. That's the reason. Yes. Oh, how much do you hate the Patriots? Yes. How many current or former Patriot players and affiliates do you hate? Yes. How much shit do you talk about the Patriots? Yes. Oh, how many games do you want to see the Patriots lose? Yes. Oh, how many points do you want the Steelers to beat the Patriots by? Yes. So yeah, there it is, folks. 25 reasons why I absolutely hate the Stinkland Deflatriots. All 25 reasons in what may have been the longest video I have ever made. Longest one I've ever made. I mean, I'm probably nearing 50 minutes. But yeah, fuck the Stinkland Deflatriots. Fuck 90% of the fan base. Now, those of you Pats fans that have commented on my channel, you know, I'm cool with you, right? You're spared from that. You're spared from what I just said about most of your fan base, okay? But anyways, that'll do it for this video. I'm out.